So in today's video, I'm going to be diving into the Russell Brunson incident, specifically what I would do from an SEO standpoint and what I would do from an SEO game plan to help control the narrative in the press as well as the SEO search results. So I don't have an opinion on this scenario. I'm not going to give you my opinion. I think that it's kind of jacked up that people are reveling in the guy's misery. And what I mean by that is they're basically seeing a guy having this great image, this great reputation, and then to see something happen like this, they're kind of almost giddy and excited that he's, fallen from grace kind of thing. It's kind of fucked up. And I don't like that. And I don't think that we should be piling on to just revel in somebody else's misery or somebody else's mistake. Regardless of what your opinion is, you weren't there, I wasn't there, we don't know the whole scenario, and there's been multiple camera angles and all kinds of weird stuff that's happened, so I wouldn't put too much time into that. But what I do want to put time into is the SEO game plan. And that shit excites me. That shit excites me because you're doing some things here that not many people are willing to do. We're going to be pushing the boundaries as much as we possibly can to try to move some negative stuff out and push some positive stuff in. And that's what SEO is all about. But specifically from the standpoint of reputation management, it becomes a little more complex because you're having to move a bunch of stuff out and lots of stuff in. So think about it like you're trying to SEO 10 sites to move 10 negative spots out. Now, it's probably not going to be that way. In Russell's case, he's got a lot of goodwill built up. It's not going to be that way. But in some scenarios, you can just see one press release after another, one video after another that is just loaded on the first page of Google. Now, you may be wondering like, okay, well, I don't have this negative press. How's this going to help me? Well, there's a lot of different things that this can apply to. So in the event that you're selling a product, so if you're a coach, consultant, high ticket course provider, you will often see these black hat sites that are sharing your stuff. And this comes up in groups over and over and over again. What do I need to do about the black hat sites that are sharing my shit, right? That comes up all the time. The thing that you need to do is SEO for your product names. And this is the game plan of what we're going to be talking about in this video. Also, I've had people contact me and want me to do SEO in the event that they have had like, a DUI or some sort of negative press about, something that they've had happen in their company or whatever. These are the kinds of things that can, wreck somebody because you don't want somebody Googling if you're going to get a different job. You don't want somebody Googling your name and showing up where you're involved in this criminal activity or you're involved in, some mistake or something that may not even have happened that you're just in the middle of, and you want to be able to control that narrative. So when somebody Googles the top 10, they see nothing but good things. So let's go into the computer and let's dive in to see what's actually there. So that's the first thing that you want to do anytime you're doing any kind of SEO. You want to see like, okay, what am I up against? So the first thing that we want to do is open up incognito mode. In this case, we're going to do a search for Russell Brunson. And when you pop this up, you can see I misspelled it there, but you see I popped this up. The first thing that you see here on the right is this YouTube video that is showing up at the top with his, with his name. And then you see below here, you'll see all the top stories, which are news related sites. So anytime a news story pops like this, automatically Google will give this a little bit of precedence and it will show up in the news feed, but it will also show up here at the top of the search results in a lot of cases. So you'll see that right there. And if we scroll on down here, let's just look, you will see here it shows up also in the video tab right there where it's pulling some videos in. And then it will go into there, and that's it. So you've got 4 or 5 different instances here on this. Now, the good thing about Russell is he's done so much stuff, and he's so active on social media, YouTube, and all of these other platforms. He's got a lot of content built up, and he's got a lot of goodwill built up in the space. So it's not going to be just something that is going to be like he has to allocate all of this time and energy and everything else into it. In all reality, if he gives this a little bit of time and he starts pumping out some new content, this is probably going to fade away in time without having to do a whole lot. But from my opinion, and this is not legal advice by no means, the first thing that I would do is I would make a single statement, whether that is a video or whether that is a press release or whether that is something on the site. and I would address the issue at hand. However that is, however you talk to your legal team and however they want to craft that up, but I would address the issue right off the bat because people were talking about it and I would just not ignore it. I would just probably lean into it. That's probably what I would do and just admit, if I feel like I made a mistake, I would admit it and kind of figure out an angle or a spin on what actually transpired, as opposed to letting just the media run wild with it. So I would come out with a single statement and I would say, I'm not going to discuss this anymore. This is being handled privately. And I would make that single statement about that instance. Second thing that I would do is I would start pumping out some new content. Like, this is being pulled from YouTube right here. So one of the first things that I would do is I would leverage my current assets that I have. So I would go to my YouTube channel, my main YouTube channel, and I would pump out a few pieces of new content. This could be highly valuable content. This could be some tips. This could be not sales material related stuff, but just goodwill, just pumping out some goodwill in the space. Hey, I wanted to share this tip with you. I wanted to share this with you. Maybe you do something along those lines, but then you share it within the community. He's got a large community with ClickFunnels users, and a lot of those fans are going to bat for him, and they are like, they're going all in. Like, you've got extremes in this scenario. You've got extremes of where people are pro Russell and they're fighting for him, and then you've got the extremes on the other side that they are like, hating on the guy. So you've got two extremes here. So I would leverage as much as I possibly could the people that are my fans and say, hey, share this video, and I'm just going to be pumping out, 30 days of content or 2 weeks of content, whatever it is, 10 days, whatever. Share these videos with everybody and get people to commenting on these videos, make them interactive, make them good, make them, engage well. And, if he puts out a video, it's going to be a good video, period. He puts out good stuff. He's got a lot of goodwill in the community. And regardless of your opinion about him, like I said, he's been here for a long time and he's had an impeccable reputation. And so it's not something that he's not going to be defined by one instance. So in this scenario, leverage as much as you possibly can, one being the YouTube channel, and then tapping into the fan base and the followers and the email list to help the engagement on those videos. And this will probably eliminate this right here. Second thing that I would do is I would go on the offensive with positivity. I'd put out some goodwill in the space other than just, free YouTube videos and that sort of thing. If I was planning on doing any kind of charity work or anything like that, or a charity event, I would do it now. So if you're making any kind of donation to any kind of charity group or whatever, after probably, I would say give this a week or so, and then I would drop that. I would do some sort of charity event. I would make a press release announcement, send it all across the board. And what's going to happen is this top stories will start showing up with your press release from the standpoint of whatever charity event that you're going to be doing, or whatever donation you're making, or whatever goodwill that you're doing in the space. So you've got created the YouTube videos and then blasting that out to your existing fans to get them to share it, get them to watch it, get them engaged, get them to comment. And then you're going on the offensive with positive press, with a charity or a donation or something along those lines. And then what you want to do from there is leverage relationships that you have in the space. So Russell has got a lot of friends, got a lot of goodwill in the space, like I said. So what I would do is I would say, hey, can we do a podcast episode? Or, hey, can I come on your show? Or can I come on and talk about, X, Y, and Z, and reach out to those people and have them on on their platform. Maybe they do a promotion together or something along those lines. But the main thing is getting new stuff pumped out and being on the offensive and being active on YouTube, being active on Twitter, being active, or X, being active on Facebook, being active on Instagram, being active on all of these channels, because the sheer fact of just being active on them, you're able to leverage these platforms to be able to cover up exactly what's here right now. Now, what if you don't have these kinds of relationships and this much activity like what Russell has? And even if Russell wanted to go on the offensive, this could apply to him as well. So what I would do in those scenarios, the first thing is use a parasite SEO strategy. Now, parasite SEO is where you're basically borrowing another site's authority to be able to rank for. So you're seeing this happen a lot of times in places like Forbes. You're seeing Times Union. You're seeing Outlook India. So like if we do a search right now for something like this, let's just do a search for something totally different, but like let's look at best protein powders. If you do a search for that and we scroll down here, look here, you'll see a Forbes article is in the number 2 spot. You'll see Washington Post, that's in the number 4 spot. And you scroll on down here, you'll see a lot of these are really authoritative type sites. And then you've got the top stories here. Look at that. That Washington Post is 1 day ago. You've got Forbes articles showing up right here. You got this one here, and all of these are a borrowed authority or a parasite SEO strategy, meaning you target the keyword on these parasite sites and you basically are paying for these. You target the keyword. So in this case, in Russell's case, instead of it being like where we go up here and we look at this, instead of this being best protein powders 2024 or best protein powders 2023, we would have in the title, we'd have something to do with Russell Brunson. And then we'd have Russell Brunson in this title right here, and then we would have an article below. It could be like the best Russell Brunson training materials or the best Russell Brunson software or something along those lines. It could be any of that. It could be anything related to Russell. And we would then crank out an article. This could use AI content. It does not matter as much about the content. It's the main thing is getting it on one of these sites that are ranking well. Forbes is one of those. And the cool part about some of these is you can spam the living shit out of these. And I love that. I absolutely love that. That is what excites me. Some of these borrowed authority or parasite sites, you can create content around your keyword, and you can do this and then just hammer the hell out of them with links. Link building is still the name of the game. You have to be a little crafty with it, and you have to know exactly what it is that you're doing. The main part to start with is getting the keyword right when you're creating the content. So like I was saying, instead of protein powders being the keyword, in this case, it would be Russell. You can still do the same thing here, like with a Forbes article. You see this is all affiliate related products, and they've got this laid out like best protein powders overall, and you can see right here best budget protein powders. So I'd follow the same platform, the same outlook with Russell. I would just create something related to Russell and have his keyword in the title, and then I would have a call to action for some product that he has, whatever it may be in this content. Crank out, use AI to create the content if you want, or you can hire somebody to write the article. It does not matter. Also, then you can include some links inside this to other parts of your sites, so other sites that you want to rank for. So in the event, like I was saying, you take Russell and you create a new YouTube video, or you create a new piece of content, and then you leverage a Forbes article to rank for his name, all of a sudden you can then have a link going out back to the money site for whatever you're wanting to rank for. So that is something else that you can use to where you can leverage this to something else. If you wanted to have multiple of these parasite sites, you could create this Forbes article here, have this Forbes article, hire somebody to write this. Let's say you did a Forbes article. You got the Forbes article that's targeting Russell Brunson. And then let's say you wanted to create an Outlook India article. You could take this Forbes article and link it to the Outlook India article, and then have the Outlook India article linked to something else. And that way you're leveraging multiple parts of multiple assets. It's almost like you're creating this spider web effect of channeling from one thing to the next, and all that you're going to do is help rank each one of these. Okay. Now, let's say that you are not Russell and you've got a high ticket course or a high ticket coaching program, and you found yourself where you've got 5 out of the 10 spots in the top 10 are showing your course or your program, and people can download it for free, or they're charging for it. This happens, and this undermines your webinars or your high ticket program altogether. Let's say you're selling a $997 program or a $1997 program, and then people are on a webinar and they do a search for your product name to get a review or to get some feedback or something along those lines. And they see some asshole selling it for $7 or $37 or something like that on some black hat site. That's going to undermine your webinar sales. So what you can do in those scenarios, you can employ the same techniques that I've outlined here, but in the event that you don't have the connections, let's say Russell does, what you can do from there is you can build out a stack of targeting your product name. And what I would do in this scenario is I would use free sites as much as I possibly can. Sites like, let's say, like Twitter, Blogger, WordPress, Tumblr, all the usual suspects, right? And then I would employ as many of the sites that you are paying services for. So a lot of times when we're doing a parasite play, a lot of people think of these, right? They think of Blogger, WordPress, Tumblr, one of those sites, or Weebly. They think, okay, we can rank one of those sites. YouTube, YouTube as another one. And that's true. But what you want to do is expand on that with paid services that you're using. So, like, for example, a lot of people don't realize this, but you can use your shopping cart URL. Your shopping cart URLs. So, like, if you're using, let's say, ClickFunnels, or if you're using something like Samcart or something along those lines, as selling your product or your course. These shopping cart URLs, a lot of people don't realize that you can SEO for those. So what you can do, and you can even use this to your advantage to justify a higher price point. This is something that is a little bit more advanced, but you can use these shopping cart URLs. Another one is support desk. And if you are paying for a support desk, like on Zendesk or something along those lines, and also with the shopping cart URLs, if you're paying for these and you're paying for the support desk, you can hammer the hell out of them with links, okay? And this is a great way to get ranked in the top. And this kind of stuff excites me, is finding these little loopholes of different avenues that we can use. And when I say hammering them with links, I mean hammering them, right? So in this event, if we were trying to hit a shopping cart URL for a product name, then we would build this 2 to 3 tiers deep. And that last tier, we're going to hammer the shit out of it with links. I'm talking like hundreds of thousands of links on that final tier, not at the front, but at the very bottom. It's going to get hit with everything under the sun. Also, you can do this with landing page software. So if you've got a landing page software that you're using, like ClickFunnels, if you build a page targeting that product page or your brand that you're wanting to do reputation management for, this landing page can be SEO'd as well. And you can hit that with links as well. So with that being said, you can do all of those. The other thing that you can use is PBN domains. If you've got a PBN domain, what you do is you just create a new post targeting the name that you're wanting to rank for. So in this case, if we were to create a new post and we were trying to do this for Russell Brunson, we would say interview with Russell Brunson, he reveals all, or something along those lines, with a little clickbait of a title. And then we would just put in a YouTube video of some interview he's done, and then we would fill it with AI content. And then what we're going to do is we would then spam the shit out of this new post, right? We're going to hammer the hell out of it with GSA or RankerX or some of these other tools. And this takes me back to the days of back when we got started, we were using tools like SE Nuke and XRummer and some of that stuff. Well, now, if you do it this way, you can still use those tools, and we still use those tools. not XRummer and SE Nuke, but we use tools like that. We use GSA, we use RankerX, and we build these links to these new posts here. And guess what? If something happens to this domain, guess what? We just kill it off and we build another one. It ain't no big deal, right? So we're hammering the hell out of this one, and we're not really worried about it. And what you're going to find when you do this process, you're going to be blown away by how much results you get off of just using an aggressive link building tactic. Okay. So in closing, if you're doing SEO and you want to do reputation management, this works. And the cool part about reputation management, you can get paid a whole lot of money because most SEOers are lazy. They don't want to do this shit. This is work. This is going to require some work on your part, but you will get paid a lot of money to do this. And the cool part about this is this expand and it's only growing. I've had attorneys reach out to me because they were involved in these weird court cases where they ruled in a certain favor and there was all of this, chaos, and they thought it was going to hurt them in future campaigns. I've had attorneys that have reached out because they've gotten DUIs and they're trying to get a job somewhere else. I've had executives that have had, these unfortunate situations happen and they're wanting to control the narrative because they're trying to get a job elsewhere. Also, course creators are very worried about their reputation from the standpoint of people going in and talking negatively about their course or whatnot. There's been companies that I've helped that have grown too fast and their customer support just went to the shitter, and as a result, you had a lot of people piling on into the message boards, Reddit boards, and that sort of thing, and they want to clean it up. They want to fix it. Best-selling authors I've had the same exact thing happen. They grew too fast. All of a sudden, they find themselves in this whole shitstorm of people coming out after them on message boards. They want to make it right, so we make the first statement, and then we start trying to make the situation right and rectifying the situation. And then we start doing the pro SEO campaign where it's nothing but positivity that you see on that. And then also, if you are a high ticket course creator or high ticket coaching, then like I said before, you have to worry about the black hatters that are putting out these sites that are offering your stuff for free or selling it for a way cheaper price, which completely undermines your webinar presentation and what people are looking at whenever they go to Google. So what you want to do is you want to use the SEO to establish your value with customer testimonials, proof elements. Also, you can justify the price, all based on the SEO and what people are actually seeing whenever they are doing a search. If you're offering $1,000 to $2,000 program or more, people are going to go to Google to search for that more than likely, as it relates to wanting to know if there's any feedback or wanting to know if there's a better deal or whatever the case may be. So hopefully you found this video helpful. Be sure to subscribe. I release videos here about SEO, about digital marketing. Appreciate the feedback. If you drop a comment below to help the algorithm. Also, I put together a program that outlines this entire process where I did this for myself. We launched a program, and guess what? We had all of these black hatters that were sharing it across the web. And so I thought, what better way to teach this than to show it on my stuff? So I'll put a link below how to get access to that in the description below this video. So again, hope you enjoyed this. Take care, and I'll see you real soon.